Hello, and welcome to a tutorial on making MaGMML Level 2 and what you need to know about entering the contest. There's more information on the Sprites Inc. link in the description, and you can always pop into our Discord to ask questions, just to help you get started. If you ever want to chat with me on a personal level, you can find my Discord there as well. I'm going to go take you through the basics. I'm also going to assume you haven't used GameMaker before, so bear with me. If you have, annotation link somewhere is going to skip you to the bit you're interested in, which is probably the automated background system. But for now, I'm going to talk you through the brief setup you'll required. Okay, so here we go. So this video is going to talk about rooms and tile sets, everything to do with them. So, first things first, well, you're going to want to make a room. This is what your level is going to be built out of, is rooms. Each of these sections, a lot of this you're not going to have to touch. As far as MaGMML goes, most of the coding's done for you, the enemies are all done for you, the gimmicks are all done for you. We're going to provide you with tile sets, the like, but there's still stuff you need to know, so we'll take you through that. Anyway, let's get started. So, first thing you need to do is make your own room for your level. Now, to do this, bring yourself down to the Rooms tab, find the example room, don't bother with the rest of them, find the example room, and what you want to do here is right click and duplicate it. It should tell you it's room some random number, in this case room 97. And you can find it's blank, there's nothing in it. Which is exactly what you want, to be honest. Anyway, so there's a few things you want to do before we set up, because obviously this is too small to build a level in. Well, that's the beauty of this. You've got these various tabs and set up. Maximize that for time's sake. And these are when we bring in your objects and stuff. Views you're not going to want to touch, but the others you will do. So, for the start with, we're going to touch the Settings tab, and now we need that. There's a specific naming scheme in MaGMML, which is this LVL, your room name. I'm going to call this Ice Baby, and then underscore your username. Okay, LVL tells the engine it's a level, and the underscore your username tells the contest organisers who made the room. It's pretty simple. Also, you may notice the room is too darn small, in which case we want to change the width and the height. These need to be in multiples of 256 and 224, because that's what MaGMML works in, that's what the engine works in. In my case, I'm just going to add zeros to the end of this and be done with it, but you can make the room as large as you like, and for my purposes this is going to be more than large enough. You could at this point choose your music, but I'm going to save that to a later tutorial. There is a default piece of music in there at the moment, which we'll save that for another tutorial. This is all about backgrounds. So there you go, your wet loo room is set up and ready to go. There's no setting up boundaries or anything yet. So, you're going to want to when building a level, you're going to want to decide on your tiles, what your theme is, what you're going to do with it, and you're probably going to want some tiles for it. We are going to provide you with tile sets, in which case you can literally go into the tile sets, go through this list, go through the tile sets, and find, go through the games and find what you're looking for. But if you have your own, and this is the first time you make GameMaker, you may not know exactly what you're doing. I'll cover this very quickly. It's quite simple, really. So what you want to go is up here in the corner, go to the Backgrounds tab. I would create yourself a folder, in which case I'm going to call it Tilesets underscore a spark. Any new content you add to the engine, by the way, underscore it and your username. This is literally one of the rules of the contest, and it's the only way we have of actually avoiding name clashes and all sorts. So any custom content, tile sets, whatever, underscore username, remember that. So there we go, we have a folder and we can import several tilesets, but we're going to be importing one, which I'm going to do now. So right click your folder, go to create background, it's all nice and blank, and we just simply click load background. I've got a few here to choose from, but I'm going to make myself an ice level based roughly off Flashman stage, and here it is. Well, it's loaded. That was simple, right? Cool. What you want to also click is use as tileset. Now, what you want to make sure is tile width and tile height is set to 16 by 16. Good. And if it isn't, set it to those. Now, when you're making the image for your tileset, so the tileset is literally just an image you import, I personally recommend, because you can see tilesets with grids on, and they're like offset by so many pixels, grids, remove the grid. It'll make your life so much easier. Because I know there is an option to use line separators in GameMaker, which, okay, it works and you can place it down. But for whatever reason, when you're attempting to build levels quickly, and I'll show you what I mean by building them quickly shortly, GameMaker likes to copy the lines. It's really daft. I don't know why it does it. It's really incredibly daft, but it does it. So take my advice, get rid of the lines in your tileset. If you imported a tileset from another game, I would make yourself a 16 by 60 a grid, which I might provide for you actually on Sprites Inc. to actually plug your background assets into. And that's it. That's my tip. Now, when naming your background, the naming convention is TST for tileset. Your background name, in which case it's Flashman, and then yet again underscore Ace Spark, so we know whose tileset it is. Even though it's in my folder, someone else may think to import a tileset called TST Flashman, and then that'll cause all sorts of problems later down the road. Yeah, I'm having to harp on about this, but seriously, underscore username. Just do it. But there we go. That is a tileset ready and raring to go. And literally, you can go to the Tiles tab in your level, Tileset spacebar, find it, and we can just start literally pushing down tiles. But there's an issue with that. So in the previous version of MaGMML, you'd have to place down your tilesets one by one and all sorts, and just place tilesets, and then you'd have to place collision on top of that, and have to decide what tiles did what, well after the fact. This led to such things as the infamous City War level, where it wasn't implemented correctly, and there was holes in the floor, and just random tile collisions everywhere. So some clever clog, named Stove Guy, has come up with a really brilliant system. Now, you'll notice we are on layer that number. I'm too tired to count what number that is at the moment. So you want to be on this layer for the start. And what we want to do is here, we're going to set up the tile set and set it up to how we want, what we want each tile to do. Some of these are ice, some of these are solid, some of these are ladders, you know, usual stuff. So in this case, what you do, go to the top corner, hold shift, drag all the way down, and then we can place this as one big tile. Good, place it up in the corner where you're not going to use it, and we can start plugging away. At this point, we're going to move away from the Tiles tab onto the Objects tab. Here, we want to go to this drop-down menu and find the Collision tab, folder even. The Collision folder, which has all these lists of collision options. Pretty much most of these can be placed on any of these. So that's the thing. So here we go. This is how you set this up. So we decide, well, which of these is going to be solid? Well, I think that should be solid, that should be solid, that should be solid. Now you could just keep clicking. Alternative is to hold shift down and drag like that, which is a darn sight quicker. That's going to be solid. That can be solid. That can be solid. Okay, if I'm still doubling up on something, you can fix that by right-clicking and deleting. If you're for some reason not happy with these, you can use right-clicking and delete, or you can hold Control and right mouse to delete objects. This works with any object, by the way. So that's useful to know. That is also solid, and let's just quickly decide what is solid, which is these. We're now going to change to what is ice, because this is an ice level. Flashman stage is icy for whatever reason. And we're going to set up these like so. You'll notice these are in various colours. We are, in fact, going to get this to animate at a later date. I've missed some solid tiles. That's okay, we can fix that. We're also going to set up spikes, which is this slot. And we're also going to set up water, which is these two. Now, and ladders. We almost forgot ladders. The only collision thing not in here is the boss door. Now, the boss door can be found in the boss folder. There it is, and you can place that on top of them. And there you go, there is your custom boss door. You can now place these down as boss door tiles and they will work. Presumably. I haven't actually tested this feature, this is brand new to this build, so we'll be finding out if that works properly or not. Anywho, so that's all set up, and it won't work straight away. There's one last step. This is really quite simple, and this is the clever bit. So in your drop-down list, go to Sections, find the Object Setter, and place it up the corner. And we are set up. We can now start building the level, which I shall do. So let's find a place. I like to build away from the edges. That's just a personal preference of mine. You don't have to. I just like placing. I like having being able to use as much space as I want. So I'm going to start here. So we're going to quickly just say build things. Now, Game Maker, you can just place these tiles one by one like that. Takes a while. If you've got larger objects like this, what you can do is shift, drag, and then place the objects like that, which is pretty handy. Word of warning, if at any point you place something over this, it will delete the entire object. That's just something to be wary of, but it's still a lot quicker being able to select the entire thing, and it's a very good reason why you should organise your tile set in such a way that you can do things like that. It makes things like so much easier. So we shall do that. There we go. That is the automated setup, which is probably what you were interested in the first place. I'm going to quickly build some level. Okay, you may notice me. This is something else you can do in Game Maker. You can hold Shift on tiles as well, and drag like that. Kind of useful. It doesn't work quite as well with this. It works kind of weird. So only do it if you're doing single tiles is my recommendation. Now, one of the key things to remember is this lot needs to be on this layer, as do these tiles. If you change layers, which we can explain in a later tutorial, and then place these tiles onto that layer, it won't work. Additionally, if you've got an animated layer and you've got alternative version of that, the animated ones won't count as collision. That'll make more sense when we get to the animation things. I will show you examples of this. But for now, we've got a starting room. But we could even place MaGMML down. It's looking a bit barren on the background front, and what we could do is, fill it in like that. If you want to quickly delete tiles, by the way, you can just hold right mouse. That's a helpful thing. But there's better ways, and I'm going to use the better way. This is where layers come in. So I tend to make 256 by 224 size backgrounds, and then use that to plug in the background in the back. And I'm going to do so. So we're going to go to there, create a new background, load it in. Here it is, one I made earlier. This one is a background rather than a tile set. Background, Flashman, consistent 1, spark. Yet again, you can go to the tiles, find it, there you are, click on it, and you've got this. We want to put places underneath the original layer, so we're going to add a new layer. I would give this a higher number. It's so easy to lose track of these, so give it like 100. So how layers work in Game Maker, this is a bit of an odd thing to get your head around, but the higher the number is, the further into the screen it is, if that makes sense. Thinking of it on like a Z-axis, so the higher numbered layer is further in, a lower number layer is further out. So if you want to say have something, because this layer is going to be the one which Mega Man's going to be on, realistically. If you want something in front of Mega Man, you can make reduces down to negative numbers, and that'll be main tilesets in front of Mega Man. That's a nice tip, and we can try that later. Indeed. As a tip, when working with things that aren't collision based, and you don't want to lose your lovely level architecture details because you've accidentally gone over it with a tile, you can always add the details on a lower layer. So that's just another tip. But for now, we've got this layer, and we can do this. Now, there's two reasons you want this to be quite far apart in layer numbers. The animation system you come running to later doesn't quite work if these are even remotely close together. The other reason is because it's so easy to get these mixed up. In fact, I'm even thinking of doing that. So I definitely know which layer I'm working with. Okay, so that is your background. I still looking a little barren. We can add some shadows in. Always nice to add shadows into your ceiling. And we can actually now just straight up add Mega Man, and he would collide. Let's try it, shall we? Okay then. As you can see, our tiles have been placed. We have ice physics. We have doors, which I'm wary to test for a couple of reasons. You may notice the room hasn't exactly locked itself up. Now, the upper boundaries and lower boundaries have, the sides haven't, and there's a way around that. Okay, so as far as this engine is concerned, providing you build your rooms within this grid, and if you duplicate the example room like I told you to earlier, then this grid should be already set up. If you keep within this grid, the vertical axis will be locked camera-wise, as well as anything you do involving falling down or moving up via a ladder will be handled automatically, so that's handy. But the horizontal axis you've got to set up yourself, and that's quite simple. We want to go to the Objects tab here, go to Sections, and we've got these three here. Object stop scrolling, right scrolling, left scrolling. Object stop scrolling will literally stop the camera if you placed it in the right location, like there. And there. Additionally, we want Mega Man to be able to move between rooms here, so the right scrolling, that means Mega Man can move through that screen to the right. And what an object does stop scrolling there. Now, if we reran the stage, camera seems to be locked. Awesome. And the boss doors are working. Huzzah! Okay, I'll place some more objects down, and we can see. Oh, this is too far to climb. We've got a ladder. There we go, there's a ladder. That appears to be water indeed. A shallow pool, whatever. It maybe looked a bit discoloured at the moment. But that's just a debugging thing for the beta. That will be changed. And of course, spikes. With that, you can actually start placing your room down and start tiling it. Hopefully that's been a help. I'm sorry for the video length, but there's just actually so much to go through, particularly since I've got to assume people don't know Game Maker. I can't just assume you know it. The next video will be covering enemies, gimmicks, and further things like that. And I hope you see you then.